child protective services, and they won't give them back to their loving families because they're making money.
This is a legal system that you're going into. And if you don't know the rules, you will be chewed up and spit out.
If I could say anything to a mother who just got their children detained, you're in a crisis. Yeah. Life feels like it's over. The most important thing is regaining custody of your children.
The child welfare system at its core is designed to protect children who need protection. Okay, and that's key, is who need protection.
So social workers, out of fear, will remove more children rather than only remove those children that truly need to be removed.
It's okay. It's okay.
This isn't someone stole your car. Someone broke into your house. This is someone took your child, your flesh and blood.
It doesn't say on this order that it was not proven. It says untrue. True. I immediately knew that, okay, well, this ain't over.
Were there signs there? Were there no signs? Did I miss them? Did I catch them? At this point, I honestly don't know.
Families only get a finite amount of time to reunify.
I came into this field to help families, not destroy them.
The difference between the criminal system and the child welfare system is substantial. You have more rights as a criminal than you do as a parent.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. My name is Georgette Truan. I am the co-host for Relatives Fight CPS, and I also work for the law office of Vincent Davis. And my guest today is Amy. Hi, Amy.
Hello.
So I am going to share a few things with you guys right now. So 1,122 children who had contact with Illinois' DCFS from 2010 to March 2021 have died, state lawmakers are saying. Lake County, time and time again, legislators and governors have called for change in DCFS, the agency that is facing decades of youth dying in their care, director turnover, and lack of accountabilities. You know, I had the opportunity to listen to a hearing in juvenile dependency court, and it's really, really frightening and disgusting on so many levels. So the psychiatrist went on the stand to testify about a parent. Psychiatrist said that the mother had a bond with the child. However, the judge dismissed her testimony because she did not state it this way. She should have said the child and mother had a maternal bond, not that the mother had a bond with the child. So because she didn't say it that way, her testimony was not valid. That's one. Another thing that I needed to share with you guys, hold on, let me get it, is that it's important for you guys to understand this, okay? So the state agency that steals your kids operates under the governor. The governor picks the commissioner. The governor oversees the person stealing your children, CPS that is. Your state assembly makes the laws. You need to know who your state representative and the state senators, you need to know who they are. You need to go down to speak with them. Let yourself be known. It will take mass of people to be heard. Basically, you need to be heard. You need to go find out who they are in your state, and you need to meet them. and you need to let yourself be known. This is very important. Okay, this is very important because this is going on way too long, and too many people are suffering. Too many parents are suffering from this. Too many parents are suffering, and we need to stop this. This has to come to an end. This has to come to an end. Relatives, please do not retaliate against each other. Do not allow CPS to divide you apart. CPS are masters of deception, the masters of lies. They know exactly what they're doing. They all go to the same demon school. They know exactly what they do. Now, I have shared with you guys this multiple times, but I'm going to share it with you again. Governor Newsom signed a new law. It's called the Nancy Skinner SB 354. It's for foster care placement with relatives. California Governor Gavin Newsom today signed Nancy Skinner SB 354 law, which took effect in January 1st, 2022, which removes obstacles in the foster care system that have prevented children from being placed with a relative caregiver who may have a past conviction. Current law can prevent someone from caring for a child even when their past conviction is decades old and they pose no safety risk to the child. So this new law allows for relatives to have placement of children even if they have, decades old history, of conviction, criminal conviction. So basically, if you live your life for so long without anything going on, except you're a good member of society, outstanding member of society, you're working, you have a roof over your head, etc., and you're not repeating your past, then CPS cannot, by law now, tell you they cannot place the children with you. Before they used to say, oh, your 35-year-old, conviction is going to prevent you from having your niece or nephew, for example, or your grandchild. They can't say that anymore. This is a new law. One of our callers told this to the social worker, and the social worker told her there is no such law. The law does exist. It does exist. So you guys need to understand the laws. You need to be in tune with the new laws and the new changes. So that way you can enforce the law and actually print it out and put it in the face of your court-appointed attorney if you can't afford one. Okay, and don't let them bully you. You need to be assertive. I'm not saying be violent. I'm not saying go beat them up, which the thought does cross people's mind oftentimes. But you need to be assertive. You need to address the law, and you need to be able to learn their language. You need to be able to speak their language. You cannot go to court like this psychiatrist. She did not say it the way it should be. Like, what is she? She's not a lawyer. She's not a lawyer. She should have been told that. Nobody told her that. But because her testimony is for the benefit of the parent, now they're picking on everything she's saying, which is technically meaning the same thing. But because she didn't mention maternity, that's why her testimony was not valid. To me, it makes no sense, right? It makes no sense. That's why they set rules in place to violate your rights. Remember that. They set rules in place to violate your rights. But your rights, the constitutional laws, does exist, and it needs to be implemented. Okay? I tell you guys oftentimes to look for a juvenile dependency attorney. That's very important. A juvenile dependency attorney. I can't emphasize enough how important this is. Oftentimes people call me still and they tell me that they hired a family law attorney. For the love of God, I do not understand how you can hire a family law attorney who has no idea what state laws are, never fought a CPS case before, and even if they told you they worked on a CPS case before, how many times have they done it? 1 time? 2 times? No. You have to pick the right attorney. You're dealing with the state. You versus the state. This is not a family law matter. This is state matter. So you need to be very, You need to have that understanding in your head. Another thing that I want to share with everybody again is that CPS is a protected empire built on just kidnapping children and destroying families. Families, all families. Bill Clinton 1997 Act offered cash bonuses to the state for every child they adopt out in foster care. And in order to receive the adoption incentive bonuses, CPS treats kids like merchandise that sells, and they must bring plenty of innocent children so the buyers can choose. The buyers are the foster parents. Workers work to keep the federal dollar flowing. Each bonus is multiplied by a percentage. The state has managed to exceed baseline adoption numbers. Therefore, the state and local community, which is CPS, work hard to reach their goal to increase the numbers of adoption. This program is set by the very top and is ran by the Health and Human Resources. This is why victims of CPS don't get the help from their legislator. So basically, our tax dollars is keeping this gigantic system afloat. And 6 out of 10 children die in foster care. CPS became a protected empire built on taking children and separating families, which is illegal kidnapping. Poor parents are targeted to lose their children because they do not have money to hire an attorney. CPS workers commit fraud and withhold evidence in court. No checks and balances. Judge allow them to run the show. Basically, CPS are the judges. The judges are just there as a show. The separation of families and the snatching of children is growing as CPS business grows because the state and local government are accustomed to having these taxpayers' dollars to balance their overgrowing budget. Look who is getting this. I want to show you who's getting benefit from all this. The state employees, social workers, children therapists, children psychiatrists, court-appointed attorneys, also known as court pretenders, the guardian ad litem, CPS investigators, judges, foster parents, adoptive foster parents. All of them are looking at children in the state custody to provide job security. We, the people, need the federal congressional hearing to abolish the state and financial incentives that turn CPS into a business that separates families from money. The system is broken because CPS has the power to destroy and to target innocent families while they leave abused kids in the home of the fucking abusers. So to me, I keep asking everybody, and I keep asking myself, what the fuck is happening in America? What the fuck is happening in America? Where people are they're fighting for their children. They're fighting for their siblings. They're fighting for, grandparents are trying to get custody of their kids. I've never heard, I never suspected in my life that I will hear a grandmother say, they told me that, or they told the grandmother that she has no say-so in the matter. The grandmother has no say-so. When I was growing up, my grandmother was amazing. If she was alive today, I think she would probably die of a heart attack if that ever happened to her. Because she treated us kids like we were, I mean, literally, she like my mom didn't exist anymore. It was only us in her eyes. We were the only thing that was important. And I just can't process this. And today we have Amy as a guest, and I've known Amy for a while, and she's amazing. Her and her husband are amazing people, like seriously amazing people. And they shouldn't have to go through all this. The child was with Amy and her husband all throughout the child's life. 5 years. Am I right, Amy? From what I recall?
You're correct. I actually watched her come into the world, and yeah.
And she's been taking care, they've been taking care of her ever since. But because CPS was involved with the mom, they didn't care if Amy was the caregiver for the child. Amy tried to get custody of the child, have the child placed with her, while Amy was all along trying to get the mother help in the first place. But they stole that bond from Amy and decided to put the child in a foster home that had no bond with Amy to begin with. So that's sad. That's very, 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 very sad. And the child is confused. The child is confused because first she lost her mom, then she has Amy and her husband, and now she lost Amy and her husband, and now she's in a stranger home, right? And God knows what's happening to her. And CPS lie. They make up stories. They complicate cases. They create chaos. They make the case so chaotic. They may mix another attorney, look at the case and say, I don't want to touch it. I don't want to touch it. It's too complicated. It's too fucking complicated because all the lies and the deception that they keep writing on paper, and the judges listen to them. They don't give a fuck if it's factual or lies, nothing. They take the word of a scumbag, social workers, as facts. And hearsay. Hearsay doesn't work in criminal court. Hearsay doesn't work in fucking family law court, but it works in juvenile dependency court. Hearsay, that's it. The social worker said, that's it. That's all it takes for the social worker to lie. A 20-year-old, a fucking 20-year-old that can't fucking spell correctly in the damn reports, that's whom the judge listens to. There you have it. That's our fucking government. That's our, we live in America and people want their fight to come to America. I'm like, why? Why in the fuck do you want to come to America where you have no fucking rights? They say you have rights. They say you speak your mind. They say, you know, blah, 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 blah. But no, you don't have rights. You don't have rights. I still don't understand how. It's sad. One of my friends never wanted to have a child. It didn't hit me until my late 50s that she explained to me why she never wanted to have a child. And I've known her since middle school. And she told me the reason she didn't want to have a child because the system is corrupt. Her cousin works for the Department of Child Services and told her stories that she didn't want to know about. And she said that's why she chose not to have children, because she knew that her child will not belong to her once that child has his social security number. That child belongs to the state. Believe it or not, your child belongs to the state. Okay? Amy, go ahead and share your story with everybody, sweetheart.
Okay, I think I got a lot of it out on the first one until we had internet issues, but okay, yeah.
No, go ahead and start over again, Amy.
Oh, okay. The place I live here is this right, the apartment complex I live in. The birth mother.
Let me help you. So the birth mother is your friend, right? And
yes.
And she's your close friend. And then she had a child. That child stayed with you from birth until age 5.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
The birth mother was out of control. So you tried to help her while you were raising her child. Then she got in more trouble, and then DCFS became involved.
She was getting in trouble with the well, not what was going on was the boyfriend that she had after her little girl was born. They was getting into fights, and cops were showing up and stuff, and so it wasn't very pretty. I mean, they would really get at each other. So, but and so that's it. Yesterday in court, they had all these cops come in and testify. But what does that got to do with how can they just, stop holding your past against people? But still, there was, the one thing I can say about the birth mother is that she was really good about helping me to make sure that that little girl had what she needed every month. And so, yes, okay. The birth mother has disabilities, and I understand that you cannot help, but and that, that's why I stepped up. I knew this little girl was going to need a mom, and I was her mother. I raised her, and she called me mom, and I never kept it from her that Her birth mother was not her mom. We never kept that from her. We always just told her, you got 2 moms that love you and 2 dads that love you, so you get you're really loved. And it just, oh God, it makes me so angry because when they came into my home, they said, go get certified to be a foster parent. Because she was with me, of course, when they came and took her. And they said, go get certified, be foster parents, and you can get her back. And we did that. We went, they said it's 180 days, I think it's supposed to take to get certified, which took longer for some reason. I don't know why. But we did everything, passed inspections, all that. I got a call from my certifier, said, we're going to move forward with opening up your home. She calls me 3 days later, 2 days maybe even, and says, I'm sorry, but we're going to have to close your home and put an extension on your certification. So it's not just sitting there open. And I was like, why? And because I got really excited oh boy, I was feeling really good for those 2 days or 3 days. And the caseworker's not willing to give her back to you at this time. Well, of course she's not, because she never was willing to. We never had any intention on doing that. And another thing. Okay, like yesterday in court, the birth mother, she had enough sense to ask me, why was there. She has another kid who's in foster care that she had her second child, which is her son. They're separate cases because they have different fathers. The kids have different fathers. Her 2 kids have different fathers, and the cases are separate. So what in the world is this caseworker that's on the for the little girl? What is she doing in the courtroom? What is she in there testifying about? What business does she have in there testifying about on that case? Vice versa. And what is that caseworker for that little boy? What business does she have in there testifying about the little girl? I mean, and she's sitting in the back of the courtroom. I found out she was sitting in the back of the courtroom laughing and snickering, one of them was. What is that about? I mean, what?
They don't care. They seriously do not care. They do not care about you. They don't care about the child. They just don't care. They just don't care. I mean, all they care about is money. That you follow the money, that's where you're gonna find CPS. All they care about is money, money, money. That's all it is.
And that's one thing, during the entire time of us raising her, is I never asked them for any help. Not once. Not once did I ever ask them for any help. Not once.
Right.
Didn't want to, because I always made sure that she had what she needed, and then some. And so she's gone from this little bubbly. She was such a happy child, so happy, kind of little. She loved life, happy. I mean, the happiest little girl you'll ever see in your life, almost, I think. And long, beautiful hair. She has the same color as me, actually. And everybody's like, where'd she get this red hair? I don't know, because I'm not her biological mother, but still. But anyway, she has gone from having that long, beautiful hair to, they've chopped her hair off to about up here, I guess. And her bangs are they kind of like, it looks like a zigzag. I don't know what the heck they did. They've cut her hair off. They've got her identity so messed up. She believes that the foster mother is her mother now. And, like when I go to my visits with her, I'm always taking different stuff to do with her, because she's a busy little girl. And so I take my acrylic paint set and stuff, and she likes to paint. And so she's in the visit, and I know these are not her school clothes because she comes there after school, right to the visit, and I know they're not her school clothes. And she drips paint on them, and she gets scared, Is my mom, that's what she calls, and my mom gonna find out that I drip paint on my clothes, and then I said, baby, you're 6 years old. You don't have to worry about that kind of stuff. I said, the paint will wash right out of your clothes, and it will. It's washable paint. And I said, you shouldn't have to worry about that, honey. And we're sitting there painting, and it was about 5 minutes later. She says, well, maybe if I tuck my shirt down in my pants, she won't see it. A child should not have fear about that. And
Hey,
they shouldn't
Amy,
be
is that a
scared.
bird, honey?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Can you keep it quiet somehow?
That bird is an asshole. Hang on. All right, Polly.
Maybe it needs to be held.
Come here. Oh, yeah, that's what I would even think. Come here. Come here, honey. Oh. He's a little stinker. He gets above my head and thinks it's okay to yell at me.
That's okay.
Yeah.
So what happened in court when you went to court?
Actually, I did not go because I don't want to be in there until I'm actually not allowed to be in there because the CPS has subpoenaed me to testify.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, against the parents. And they did that. They actually did that to me with the little girl that I raised. They subpoenaed me to testify. And I'm being told that if I don't do it, I'll be in trouble. I'll get in trouble. And you can't speak freely when you're in there. You can't speak your mind because the judge will look at it as it's your opinion. And so, no, it's not my opinion, it's facts, but still, I mean.
Oh, so where's the child right now, Amy?
The little girl.
Yes.
She's at the foster home with
And
her.
what is the foster parents trying to do right now?
What are they trying to do?
Why are they trying to adopt her?
I don't know yet, but I got a feeling that's what's going on because they're putting in the paperwork that both the girls are stating that they want to remain in the home that they are in. And so, okay, she has two half-sisters, and the oldest one is the one that made the accusations against her father. And I understand that she's got problems because they were in the system once before, and they just got them back, and they had them for 4 years. It took 4 years to get them back, actually. And I was really shocked that they even got them back after learning everything I know. But the oldest one that made these accusations, she wants to be in her own foster home. She wants to be away from her sisters. She doesn't want nothing to do with her sisters, right? And so they moved her. And by the way, she's been in 4 foster homes now because of problems with the boyfriend and his mother. But she has a middle sister, and her middle sister was saying, she was okay. Whatever, they know this, but she was secretly texting her mom and saying, "What is going on? My sister is lying about all this, and I want to come home. I want to come home. I want to come home," because she's very close with her mother. They had a very strong bond. And now all of a sudden, I think it was like 6 months later, all of a sudden it was being done to her. Her mom was pimping her out to different men.
Okay, Amy, I need you to hold that bird, honey.
It's kind of hard to control that little brat. Oh, God. Huh? We'll do the show right now. If you start screeching again, I'm sorry. I apologize about that.
The foster parent again, is it somebody related to the child or somebody outside?
Complete stranger. Complete stranger.
Yeah, I remember you told me it was a complete stranger also. I just wanted to make sure I remembered right. So is the child I'm sure the child misses you. I'm sure you have a bond with the child.
Yes, I do.
And do you visit the child at all?
Yeah, I get an hour a week with her once a week for an hour. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me take that back because we were getting an hour 4 times a week. I mean, once a week for an hour, and then the caseworker said, "Let's take it down to we're taking it down to 45 minutes." And there was one time I wanted to include the birth mother into one of my visits to do an art project with the little girl. And next thing I know, they said that she could start coming into 2 of our visits a month. And when the caseworker had called me one day a little while back, out of the blue, by the way, but she's mad. She told me, I was questioning why is when the birth mother in those 2 visits a month, we'll get the full hour. When she's not, we don't get the full hour. And this case, I know this caseworker doesn't like me, but it's because I stand up to her and I jump down her throat and I tell her, hey. And she told me, the caseworker's like, let me just remind you that this visit that you get every week with her is something that we provide to you as a courtesy. And she said, because you guys are nothing to this little girl. What? Nothing to her? Okay. What does that got to do with it? And she said, well, legally, you guys are nothing to her. Again, what does that matter? She was loved, nurtured, had everything she could ever want.
I'm laughing when you're telling me this because it's like you're telling them this and they're probably not even paying attention to what you're saying.
Oh no, I know they're not. No, I know for a fact they're not.
You can tell them the moon and the stars, and they're like, "Okay, and you have a bond with the child, and the child's gonna get a bond with somebody else." They don't care. They don't. Honestly, they don't care.
No, they don't. They really don't care, and it's sad. It's heartbreaking, and the only thing I can think about is, even when I go into the visit, I tend to just forget where I'm at because that little girl is my focus. Because like I say, I get every second of every minute is precious to me, and so.
You know what? Honestly, all I can tell you is this. I do believe, I don't know if you've done this, but I do know that I mentioned this to you a couple of times. What state is your case in, first of all? I can't remember.
It's in Oregon.
It's in Oregon. There is an attorney in Oregon that specializes in juvenile dependency court, but I don't know if he's available for you to speak with him. I will text you his name and phone number. I don't have it with me at the moment, but one of my colleagues at work has it, and I will get the name from her. Probably check with me tomorrow. You have my number. I need you to call him and let him know what's going on with the case, because really, they said you don't have a case because you're not the mother of the child. You're not a family member of the child. You're just a best friend. But Mr. Davis says that by law, they have to place the children with anyone that is family member or best friend or mother, what do you call it?
Caregiver.
Mother, caregiver of the family. So the family has to know her very well. So basically, that is the law. Still, they're supposed to keep the child with you because you've done nothing wrong. The allegations was not against you, it was against the mom. And you're the one who was bonding with the child to begin with from birth until age 5.
Yeah, actually the allegations are against the father to this little girl. But
the father, sorry.
Yeah. But they're going after her over her disabilities and stuff now, and it's almost like it's not even about the accusations against the father, because you would think that when a child makes an accusation like that against their parent, that the police are going to come to that parent's home and they're going to take your computers, phones, laptops, all that for any evidence of that being done. That did not happen. And you would also think that they would take them straight to a doctor or emergency room or whatever to get these children checked out to see if that's going on. That didn't happen. It happened like 4 or 5 days later, and because they used their doctor that's next to their building, and that's what they did. And I even, when I finally, was told that, nothing was found that had been done to these kids, and it just kind of spiraled out of control from there. I mean, it's like, I now know that they were just like creating diversions so they could buy themselves time. to just keep, postponing court dates here and there. I mean, that's what they've been doing, postponing, and postponing. And I think the last reason for them postponing was because all the parties involved had not been informed, which all parties were there except for the birth father. And I'm sure he knew, but he doesn't want anything to do with this, and he just kind of washed his hands of it. But I know that why he was doing that, because he never really wanted to raise that little girl, I don't think, and because he was always asking me to take her, and I would always take her, yes. And because in the beginning, when she was a newborn, it was a day or two overnight, and a day or two turned to 3 or 4, 3 or 4 turned to 5. And so I was always wanting her, and I would take her. I even took her on a trip with me. We flew back to Oklahoma and went and stayed with some family members for a couple of weeks. And it was just me and her, just me and that little girl. And, I can do all that. I can take her to the doctor, took her to all of her doctor appointments to get all of her shots. Anytime she needed to go to the doctor, I was allowed to do that. I got her in school, early intervention, and the father didn't want anything to do with that. Nope. So I made sure that she got the help that she needed. I made sure she was taken care of, always. And her life is very well documented, by the way. I've got probably 3, 4, 5,000 videos and pictures of that little girl. And not once do you ever see that child not looking cute. I mean, she's always had dressed cute, always dressed nice. I mean, she was very well taken care of. But the one thing that mattered was she was loved. She was very loved. And, I have children that are... You're on mute.
One of our viewers is asking if your case is in Douglas County.
Yes, it is.
It is? Because they're saying that sounds like what they've done to them as well. So guys, every state, every county are corrupt. That's why I call them the whorehouse. I call them the whorehouse because it's all corrupt. They're literally in bed together. They're not to be trusted. Remember that. They're not to be trusted. They're not your friends. They're not going to do the right thing for the benefit of the children. They're not going to help you. They're not going to help you. Court-appointed attorneys are scared of judges. The ones that really run the shows are social workers. That's why they
Yes, they are
untouchable. Judges don't care. Judges, they have the easiest job. They let the social workers make the decisions. And they just sit back and relax. I honestly don't see a judge sweating or reviewing cases or looking at the best interests of the children or even having the children heard. Most judges don't want to hear what the children have to say. The child could be 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. And they're like, no, you can't make a decision. You're not old enough yet. But yet, they're so fucking retarded. But yet they would say, oh, a 5-year-old confessed, a 3-year-old said, a 2-year-old did. But they're old enough to actually give you a full testimony, and you say that the child said when the child didn't say. But when the child is crying for help, I want to go back home, I want to go back home, you don't want the child to go back home. Why in the fuck do you want a 16-year-old to stay in the system for? Why in the fuck would you want a 13 or a 14-year-old that wants to go home? Why would you hold them captive like they're in prison? Why? They want their family. But all you're keeping them is what? In a group home? So the group home can benefit with the fucking money? That's exactly what's going on right now. That's all it is. I'm sorry, Amy. I'm so sorry.
Let me tell you something else. I've got all the paperwork on this, and so many just stupid lies. In the paperwork, it's just stupid. Like they say, she is a fun, loving, long blonde-haired little girl. She's not blonde hair. She has red hair. What the hell? They said that, I think there was another lie I found. I got them all highlighted. That the birth mother was not, as she is not engaging with services anymore. She's actually done everything they've asked her to do because that's what she does. I mean, she's wants to please people because, that's her disability. And
Poor baby.
Okay, but see, okay, I'm supposed to testify tomorrow. How can they ask me to be a character witness for these parents? I mean, as parents, when they've never been parents to their children. I mean, and I understand, to a point, to a certain extent, that maybe they can't without some help, which is what I was doing, by the way. But it makes me so angry and make fun of.
What? What's the matter?
I was looking at Peggy's comment.
Oh, well, you know her? Oh my God. Is she do you know who Jody Meza Jessica Hunter? Oh my God, Peggy, she knows this person. I don't know who this person is, but they lie about everything to keep them.
She's a caseworker.
Oh, small world, ain't it?
It really is.
Yep. They lie. They lie and lie and lie and lie. There you have it. So, I mean, that's a coincidence that they even came up with that name while you're on the show with me.
It really is. And it's freaky, sort of. Just
wow.
Wow.
I wonder. I mean, we've seen social workers on Facebook, and the sad part about it is they actually want to friend people and shit. That's on the case. You know what I mean? They will come to you and say, "Hey, I want to be your friend on Facebook," but they really want to know everything about you, so they can use it against you. You guys know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. I
Wow.
understand what you mean.
Wow. I saw your face, Amy, and you're like, what?
Exactly.
You know what? Peggy said you can contact her anytime.
Okay,
about this person. That's crazy.
It really is. That's what they do. They when she first called me, the very first time she ever called me, was oh yeah, tell me this and blah 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 and that and blah blah that, act like your little friend, and then they get what they want from you, and when they're done getting what they want from you, there you go.
But the thing is,
done.
But even if you told them the truth, which oftentimes people do speak the truth, they take that truth and they actually fabricated it to the point of insanity.
Yeah.
They're insane. They fabricate every bit of information.
Another thing is the daughter that made the accusations said that her mom's boyfriend was doing this to her as well. Yet I've never heard one. I don't think I've heard his name through this process in court. Not once. Not one time. Not once. And when they took her half sisters from their mother, she has a son. She was distraught, and of course she's upset and crying. You're taking her kids, right? Again, you're taking her kids again. And they told her, if you don't stop crying, that we're going to take your son too.
Because she's crying. Because she's crying.
Exactly. And it really makes me mad. It makes me so fucking angry, and I just hate this world. And I don't even want to live here. I don't want to live in this world. I'm ashamed to call myself an American. Don't want to do it. You're exactly right though. Criminals do have more, or you all are right. Criminals have more rights than we do, and so and that's just screwed up because we're not criminals. And I'm betting. Okay, see, like this little girl race. I never pierced her ears. Got her ears pierced. I wanted her to wait till she was old enough to make that decision for herself. I'm not going to do something to that little girl that scares her. Oh, no. Next thing you know, it was for her 6th birthday. That's what she wanted to do. She wanted to get her ears pierced. And so the birth mother and I were invited to go to be there with the foster mom while she got her ears pierced. I'm pretty sure the foster mother actually told my husband that she didn't agree with what CPS was doing. In fact, I know that's what he told me. But I didn't want to do that to the little girl, to her. I was not going to do that to her. I wanted to wait until she was old enough to make that choice on her own. And here she is getting it done. And I knew the first time they pierced one side and she jerked her head, birth mother was there with me, and the little girl asked me, she had told me she told the birth mother, she said, I'm sorry, no disrespect towards you, but she asked if she could hold my hand while she was getting it done. Well, of course she wants to hold my hand, because I'm the one that's been there for her. And God.
They lie, honey. They know that the child had a maternal bond with you. They know this, but they want to benefit the foster parent. Oftentimes, the foster parents are people that they know. Oftentimes, the foster parents are people that they know.
And by the way, he was driving a brand new car within a couple of months or a month or so of getting these kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not human. Like Peggy, I say this all the time. They're not human.
No,
the evil in them is they're possessed by demons. Demons are the ones who are controlling the system. Demons is what controls the system. Because they love the money so much that they don't care about destroying families. That's why in the Bible God says the devil is the father of lies. He's the father of lies.
Yeah.
He will deceive, he will manipulate, he will divide. The devil divides families apart from each other. Doesn't that tell you something? God doesn't divide. God unites, not divides. So oftentimes, that's why a lot of people say our government officials are evil. Yeah, they are. They're evil. They love power. When you love power and you love money, and that's your only greater love, you can't have God in your heart. It's impossible for you to have a God in your heart. You literally have to be dark inside for you to enjoy the suffering of a parent or a suffering of an aunt or an uncle or a grandmother. You have to be an evil person. Evil people laugh at your pain. I mean, wow.
It's sick. I know. And what is it? The money is the root of all evil. Well, there you go.
The love of money is the root of all evil.
Yeah.
The love of money is the root of all evil. So
I hate money.
yeah. I mean, evil is wickedness. Wickedness. It's wickedness regarded as a supernatural force. You know what that means, right? Evil, basically, we're not fighting against flesh and blood. You know that. We're not fighting against flesh and blood. Spiritual. It's a spiritual thing. So these men and women in CPS department, they're not aware that they're being controlled by demons. Get it? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because they have it in them to be dark anyways. They're not aware. They're dark inside. They have darkness. We are the light. They are darkness. We are the light. We are the salt of the earth. They're dark. That's why they will never see the light, because they're dark inside. Right? So that's how our system is ran. Our system is ran by demons. This bullshit system that says Child Protective Services. I honestly don't know how they can have a name like that. Child Protective Services. They should call them child molesters. They can call them child abusers. You can call them child traffickers system. That's the only name that suits them. But the protective system part, that's a fucking misleading lie. That's like a lie right there. It's misleading because that's not what they do is not what they say. Does that make sense? They will tell you one thing. They tell family this all the fucking time. I had a call from a guy a couple of days ago. Oh, Miss Georgette, we're okay. We don't need an attorney. They said we're gonna reunify with our children and with our child in 6 months. Right? 6 months. We had another client today. She said they told me that before, and then all of a sudden they took the child from her. There's no reunification services anymore. It's done. She's gonna lose her parental rights. Her 2-6 hearing is coming up October 16th, right? So I said, why didn't you called us in 2020? I said, why didn't you hire us in 2020? She said, because my court appointed attorney and the social worker said, I'm gonna get my children back. Yeah. So they say one thing and they do another. So now she wants to hire us to do her April 16 hearing, which is the 2-6 hearing, which is pretty much losing her rights. So I'm like amazed. I'm like, you could have handled this in 2020. We're in 2022. But people somehow still listen to the social workers. For some reason, people, that's why I call them demons, because they deceive you to think you're going to have the child back. Because they don't want you to hire an attorney. They don't want you to hire an outside attorney because they can't control the outside attorneys. They can only control their attorneys, the juvenile dependency attorneys. That's who they can control. But if you hire an outside attorney, a private attorney, they can't control them. Now, do you know the difference? They can't control them. And that's why they want to keep you in silent and to keep you on the hush hush so that way you don't help your case. But they feed you some bunch of lies. Finish your classes, you'll get the children. Become a foster parent, you're going to have placement of your granddaughter. When in the fuck did you ever hear when you were a child that your grandmother had to be a foster parent in order for her to take you? That's absurd, right? The grandmother has to be a foster parent in order for her to take her grandchild. I've never heard that. Growing up, my grandmother was the spoiler. You know, the candy, the cakes, the sweets that my mom and dad didn't want me to have, my grandmother gave. She would spoil me with hugs and loves and gifts and attention and plays with me. She would do dress up with me. She would do my hair. I would do her hair. Stuff like that. When did a grandmother need foster parent license to have her grandchildren?
Didn't.
You know, I'm just saying. It's. They set their own rules in place to violate everybody's rights. That's exactly what they do. That's exactly
you know, it's sad because, you know, that it took me this long to learn this, but why would I know this? Because I've never dealt with child welfare. You know, I was very young when I had my kids that are grown, by the way, who, by the way, are going through a lot of pain right now because I just found out their dad died about 2 days ago. And then I was having trouble locating my son because he's just not doing really good right now. He's on drugs and stuff, and I found out so much bad stuff that's going on with him. And when I finally got him on the phone yesterday to let him know that his dad had died, there was nothing there. I mean, it scares me. It scares the crap out of me that now, I mean, what's going to happen? Am I going to be burying my son, my actual son next? Because of this
sorry, Amy.
shit. And I was young when I had my kids, but you know what? And yeah, he wasn't a good man. He was not very nice to me. And this is putting it lightly. He was not very nice to me, and that's seriously putting it lightly. But I never once called the police on him, and I never once had to deal with child welfare as a young mother. Not once, ever. Not once.
Well,
And
child services have increased so much throughout the years that they became more aggressive and more money hungry and more. They just want money. That's all they care about. They care about their driving their Mercedes Benz, and having their house in Redondo Beach or whatever. I mean, that's all they care about. They don't care about. They can actually sleep at night. I had a client that said, "Can they sleep at night?" I said, "Of course they can." I said, "They
we
sleep very
can.
well." Yeah, I said they sleep very, very well. As a matter of fact, they gain power when they see you miserable. A narcissist, you feed them power when they see you miserable. That's all a narcissist wants. A narcissist will laugh at you, at the pain.
Yeah,
That's
they
what
do.
a narcissist is. Yeah. So when I say they reap what they sow, they will reap what they sow. You can't hide from ugly forever. You just can't. An evil person cannot get away with their evilness forever. There will be an end. There has to be an end. Okay? It has to be an end. Remember that. So, okay, I am going to now end the show, Amy. I'm so sorry you're
Okay.
going through this as well. I am. Just call me tomorrow and remind me to ask my colleague about the attorney in your state, okay?
Okay, I will do that. Also, Peggy, I just want to say to Peggy, thank you, so much for everything you said. I know this, and if you know how to get a hold of Georgette, maybe you guys can give each other our contact info. I don't know how to do that. I don't want to put it up here.
Peggy, contact my office, honey. The numbers on the screen is 888-888-6582 and ask for Georgette. And we'll go from there. And also, Barbara made a good statement. She said they made family members become foster parents when they figured out that they could make money off of them. That is true. It's all about money. That's all it is. Follow the money. It will lead you to CPS. Follow the fucking money and it will lead you to CPS. Okay?
It's like what you say, though. They will reap what they sow a million times over, and they will.
They will. They will reap. Everyone that does evil will reap what they sow. Everyone. Like you said, I was a guest laughing out loud in December. Peggy, I can't remember. Give me a call, honey. Give me a call so that way I can connect you with Amy.
Yeah.
All right.
One more thing. I know I gotta go,
Yeah.
but remember the person you told me about? You told me to remind you about this last night. That watches your show and she uses your show as her birth control.
Who's that?
You told me that this woman that watches your show, she uses your show as my birth control.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, yeah. So there's this lady. She doesn't have a CPS case at all, and she watches my show all the time, every week. So she called me and she said, "Georgette, I just wanted to say that I watched your show. I don't have a CPS case, but I wanted to tell you how fabulous you are, and that your show is my birth control." And I'm like, "What do you mean my show is your birth control?" She said, "I don't want to have kids." So basically, her and her husband decided they don't want to have kids at all. At all. They literally don't want to adopt and they don't want to have kids in America. They've been married for a year. And she said that my show is her birth control. And her husband started watching the show too, which I thought it was interesting. And then it was right. I think I called you right after, Amy.
Mm-hmm.
And I told you, because you and I talk a lot. You and I talk like midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning or whatever. But we talk, and I was laughing, and I was telling Amy, and Amy was like, "What do you mean it's her birth control?" And I had to explain it to Amy. And I'm sure she's watching now. But she literally said she doesn't want to have kids in America, and she's smart. She said if she wants to, If her and her husband decide they want to down the line, then they will have to go to a different country. It's weird. I mean, I can't explain it to you guys, but the way that poor lady doesn't want to have kids in America. She's so frightened. She's like, I want to go somewhere, me and my husband, that American soil is not on. Like, no soldiers, no American soldiers, no.
But you go to the country, it's going on in every country.
She wants
So
to go somewhere that has no American life whatsoever to have a child and no CPS at all. So, I mean, honestly, I don't know. Sometimes I wonder if pretty soon all Americans are going to leave America. I don't know why. I mean, all the ones they're going to have are what, doctors and rich people and, nurses, maybe. I have a feeling that pretty soon, it's weird. America is not what I thought it was when I was a young girl. I used to really love the flag. I was one of these women that 4th of July was a big deal. I had to have the flags. I had to have the pillows. Everything had to be red, white, and blue. And, in God we trust everywhere, etc., etc. But now, for the last 4 years, for the last 8 years, I can't. I just can't. I can't celebrate 4th of July. I don't consider it a holiday. I really don't. Because even the ones that died for their country, the ones that fought for their country and for us, their kids are being stolen from them. Because the social worker says, oh, he has PTSD. He's not safe to be a father. Because he was in the war. I mean, how fucked up are you to say that?
right.
So these people that fought for America, at the end of their war, when they lose their leg or arm, God forbid, or something, or they see their friends die in front of them, they're considered not good enough to be parents. And they steal their kids from them. So how great is America exactly right now?
Ain't great at all.
There you go. I mean, that's how insane America is right now. Okay? So I'm going to end the show, you guys. Thank you so much, Amy. Your bird is so cute. Noisy, so cute.
Yeah.
What kind of bird is that?
He's a cockatiel.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
He thinks I'm his bitch.
I guess. Okay. Oh my God. I don't like birds. I don't. I really don't. There's no way you'll find a bird in my home. I love cats. I love dogs, but I would not touch a bird. It scares the crap out of me. Right. Amy, I'll talk to you later, honey. I love you so much.
I love you too.
I will talk to you soon. God bless you guys. And I want you guys never give up. You have rights, you guys. You are great family. You are great parents. Do not let them bully you. Do not allow them to bully you. Remember, their bulliness is not from God. It's from Satan. Okay? You do not welcome Satan in your life. He's not welcome in your home. So your God lives there. Jesus lives in your home. And be strong. And God bless you guys. And I'll talk to you soon. All right. Bye-bye.
I told you.
Bye-bye.